In order to provide impetus to self-reliance in defense manufacturing, multiple announcements were made under Atmanirbhar Bharat package in the Ministry of Defense. In implementing such framework and to position India amongst the leading countries of the world in defense and aerospace sectors, Ministry of Defense has formulated a draft new Defense Production and Export Promotion Policy 2020. This is envisaged as overarching guiding document of MOD to provide a focused, structured and significant thrust to defense production capabilities of the country for self-reliance and exports. This policy has an aim to achieve a turnover of around rupees 1,75,000 crore rupees, including an export of 35,000 crore rupees in aerospace and defense goods and services by the year of 2025. This also has an aim to develop a dynamic, robust and competitive defense industry, including aerospace and naval shipbuilding industry, to cater the needs of the armed forces with quality products. To get in detail with this particular most important beautiful defense updates and various other considerable important inputs, let us begin with today's defense updates of 4th of August 2020. And before I begin, always every day I introduce to you about SSB crack exams, that we are one-stop solution for you if you are preparing for various defense examinations. I always highly recommend you to download our Android app from Google Play Store, wherein which you can have all sorts of important lecture material, all study material and all sorts of important informative and strategic content in your hand. So beginning with the first and foremost question of the day that I have posted on 3rd of August 2020, that is yesterday, and the question that I asked was a very simple question. It was, which Indian Army officer is known as India's Wonder Woman and why? 100% whoever have answered this particular question in the comment section, I appreciate each and every one of you. All of you have given a correct answer. She is Mrs. Seema Rao. Seema Rao is sometimes referred to as India's Wonder Woman. Okay, she is India's first woman commando trainer and having a trained Special Forces of India for over 2 decades. That means for around 20 years she trained the Special Forces of our own country, and she's an expert in the close quarter battles. That means the CQB. It is a form of battles, battle techniques that are used under the Indian Armed Forces, and she's also an expert in fighting in the tight proximity. She's also involved in training various Indian forces. She works in partnership with Major Deepak Rao, who is her husband. Understanding, she was also a Miss India World Beauty Pageant finalist. Also, to get in detail, that she earned her para wings by skydiving in Indian Air Force course. She's a combat shooting instructor, Army Mountaineering Institute HMI medalist, and an 8th degree black belt in military martial arts. She co-invented a new method of shooting, and that new method of shooting is also known as the Rao system of reflex fire. Please remember, this particular new method of shooting is also known as the Rao system of reflex fire for close quarters combat, along with her husband Deepak Rao. Now, why are we discussing all of these in a detail way? This is the main reason how the questions are asked in examinations like AFCAT and INET. Understanding? So you have to remember all of these. And she has co-authored 2 important books. One book is Encyclopedia of Close Combat Operations, and another book is A Competitive Analysis of World Terrorism. Rao was ranked 6th in the 2019 Forbes India Women Power Trailblazer list, and she also received Nari Shakti Puraskar from President of India in the year of 2019. So that is it with the important details regarding the question of the day that I have posted yesterday. Now, beginning with the first and foremost important defense update that I was discussing with you in the introduction session, that Ministry of Defense released a draft Defense Production and Export Promotion Policy. What is this? It is the Defense Production and Export Promotion Policy, DPEPP 2020. This is an extremely important one that you have to consider, because we are dealing with the Ministry of Defense every day in a very detailed way. So this comes under a very important one. Also, an additional point that we have to remember is that this is a very important for the first time under the Atmanirbhar Bharat package, that they have kept a larger impact on the exports of our own country, of the defense industry. So DPEPP 2020 is envisaged as overarching guiding document of Ministry of Defense. This is to provide structured, focused and significant thrust to defense production capabilities of the country for self-reliance and exports. Okay, now what are more things that we have to understand? It also has a vision as per the Ministry of Defense. This is taken directly from that particular document that I'm showing it to you here. That document has a very clear, it mentions the vision as to make India amongst the leading countries of the world in defense sector, including aerospace and naval shipbuilding sectors from design to production, with active participation of public and private sector, and thus fulfilling twin objectives of self-reliance and exports. What are those twin objectives? One is about the self-reliance. They very intelligibly they have talked about two important points that our country has to build. One is around self-reliance and another one is around exports. One is we should have ample amount of weapons, ammunition and ample amount of defense equipment from our side to make us more secure. Also, we need to produce many number of extra things and many number of strategic defense equipment that we can even sell to other countries, like how USA, Israel and Russia, China, what all other countries are doing. Even we have to get to that particular level. This is what has been envisaged by the Ministry of Defense under the DPEPP 2020. Now we will understand about a very detail regarding the goals and objectives about this particular policy. This policy, as I told you, is to achieve a turnover of a complete turnover of, please remember, it is around 1,75,000 crore rupees turnover. And this simply has just among all of these 1,75,000 crores, the exports itself are around 35,000 crore. Understanding? All of these are coming under the aerospace and defense goods and services, and all of these are to be established by the year of 2025. Now we are running in the year of 2020. That means by next 5 years, our goal is to have a complete turnover of around 1,75,000 crore rupees, among which around 35,000 crores must, minimum of 35,000 crores must be vested under the exports itself. Understanding? So this is to also to develop a dynamic, robust and competitive defense industry, including what? Including aerospace industry and also naval shipbuilding industry also. They not only included aerospace industry, they also included the naval shipbuilding industry, because we have a lot of important shipbuilding companies, shipbuilding organizations on our side. Also, they are building very strategic, good warships and submarines. So it is to envisage even those that are to be coming under the consideration. Also, the third point is about to reduce dependence on imports and take forward Make in India initiatives through domestic design and development. And the next point is to promote the export of defense products and become a part of global defense value chains. And the final point it says that it is to create an environment that encourages research and development, and it is to reward innovation, create Indian intellectual property ownership and promote a robust, self-reliant defense industry. Also, that is it with this particular most important section. We will also understand what are all those focus areas regarding the DPEPP. So these are the 8 important focus areas that we have to understand, and they include the procurement reforms, indigenization and support to the micro, small and medium enterprises and startups, optimize resource allocation, investment production, FDI, foreign direct investment and ease of doing business, innovation and research and development, the defense public sector undertakings and ordnance factories boards, the quality assurance and testing infrastructure, and export promotion. All of these 8 are the important focus areas that are coming in a very strategic details under the Defense Production and Export Promotion Policy 2020. So that is it with this particular most important section. To get in detail with this particular one, I request you and I urge you to go through the PDF section that is provided from our side in our Android app. Those who have downloaded our Android app, for them it is available for free. So everybody who wants that particular PDF section, you can happily download the Android app and start using it, so that you get all sort of these important materials free of cost. Going on with the next important update is that India says that there is no compromise on territorial integrity, and in the 5th round of military talks with China. Yesterday, as I told you, that the 5th round of talks, military talks were happened with China, and I told you that today I will tell you what all happened at the 5th round of military talks. So yesterday it happened, and it happened nearly 11 hours on Sunday at a designated meeting point in Moldo on Chinese side of line of actual control. Indian delegation very clearly and firmly communicated to the Chinese side that restoration of status quo in all areas of Eastern Ladakh was key for overall ties between two countries, and our country also categorically conveyed that Indian army will not compromise on country's territorial integrity. Okay, that is it with this particular most important update. Going on with the next important update is that DRDO has offered 2 options to develop the light tank. Now we have to understand why is DRDO thinking to develop a light tank. This was see, we have to eliminate costly and time-consuming import of the light tanks. We are importing the Sprut light tanks. I will discuss with you regarding the Sprut light tanks. The next update is about that only. So we are importing important light tanks from other countries, but it is very time consuming on one side, and also on the other side it is very costly. So to eliminate all of these issues, DRDO has a plan to develop our own light tanks. So it has a plan to develop indigenous light tanks for the use in the mountains and in the jungle terrains. Okay, see, all the western sectors, that means areas including the Jammu and Kashmir, the Ladakh areas, are all mountainous regions. Whereas if you go all the way towards the Arunachal Pradesh and all of those borders, all of them are simply jungle terrain. So we have to have the two different sort of light tanks for both of these terrains. Understanding? So the DRDO gave two important options towards the government to see and choose any one of them. Understanding? So the first option it gave was to involve a 34 to 35 ton tank by fitting a 105 John Cockerell turret onto a K9 Vajra hull. Okay, K9 tanks are being actually now built by the L&T, or by L&T have taken a license from the South Korea, and they are building the K9 Vajra hulls and the K9 tank in detail way. But as per this new light tank development, they have come up with a new designs, and regarding that design, the first design says that we can fit a 105 John Cockerell turret. This is what is known as a turret. Understanding? A John Cockerell turret is there. So to that John Cockerell turret, we need to attach this has to be attached to the K9 Vajra hull. All of this area is known as a hull. Understanding? So to this hull we can attach that. This is a turret, that's something that you are seeing here, and this is an important launcher way. So DRDO sources have said that this hybrid tank could go into production within 18 months. And what is the second option? The second option they gave was to retain the K9 Vajra hull and MTU engine, but matched with the gun turret of the T90S Bhishma tank. Understanding? So to this particular K9 Vajra hull and MTU engine will be the same, and also the gun turret also will be the same, but the gun turret will be taken from the T90 Bhishma tank, and that the army already uses. Okay. Also this, if we are taking into consideration, this would be around a 38 ton tank, and this would also require 18 months for going into the production. Okay. DRDO is confident that any one of these hybrid tanks would be better options than what MOD is considering to buying the Russian Sprut SDM-1. Okay. So the next important update is about this, the same thing that I was discussing with you, that Russia has offered India an 18 ton Sprut lightweight tanks amid standoff with China. Okay. So these are the Sprut lightweight tanks, and India is buying these tanks from Russia. Okay, this move came as India has deployed heavy T90, T72 tanks, and all of these are deployed along the LAC. China meanwhile has deployed its new lightweight tanks. They include the Type 15 tanks, which weigh around just 33 tons. Okay, lightweight tanks allow faster mobility. That means they can move in a very faster pace when compared to the very heavy weight tankers, and these can move in a very faster mobility in mountainous terrains than the regular battle tanks that weigh over 40 tons. Okay. Now, also to get in detail about the next important defense update is that as mountain standoff with India continues, China stages bombers and cruise missiles. Understanding? China has started using its bombers and cruise missiles to have a reconnaissance on our own Indian territories, and they have said that according to a commercial satellite imagery, they have around 6 H-6 bombers on the tarmac at Kashgar airport in Uyghur Autonomous Region of Xinjiang. Okay, they have started deploying the 6 H-6 bomber aircrafts. Okay, now there were no bomber aircraft, there were no aircrafts about these H-6 bombers. The main thing about the difference between the bomber aircrafts and the fighter aircrafts is that fighter aircrafts are dependent upon the speed, whereas the bomber aircrafts are depending upon the altitude. Understanding? These aircrafts will go at very high altitudes, and their main aim is to just drop bombs and nuclear or any other important strategic bombs on the enemy territory. Okay, so bombers are a very strategic one. Also, our own Air Force also has strategic bombers, but China suddenly has started using these 6 H-6 bombers, and they were parked at the Kashgar airport in Uyghur Autonomous Region of Xinjiang. H-6 is a Chinese development of twin-engine Soviet Tu-16 medium bomber. Understanding? This is a Russia has made a Tu-16, the medium bomber. This is a Chinese version. Understanding? Chinese industry has greatly improved the basic Tu-16 with new sensors, avionics engines and weapons. This is a very common fact that we have to understand, that every time China will copy what all things are being done from the American side and the Russian side, they copy the designs and they try to improve the same design and make themselves much more strategic. They feel like that, understanding. So that is another issue that we have to consider. Going on with the next important in detail regarding this one is that we have to also know where does that Kashgar lies. Kashgar lies around 500 miles from Ladakh. Please remember, it is just 500 miles from Ladakh and the region of northern India, along which runs the LAC, demarcation between Indian and Chinese forces in Himalayas. Diplomats drew that line as a part of truce talks following a bitter, bloody border war in 1962. India has deployed Su-30, MiG-29s, MiG-29K fighters, and satellite imagery depicts the Chinese Air Force J-16 bombers also sharing the tarmac with the H-6s at the Kashgar airport. Now we will have a very quick review about going through some of the most important questions depending upon the topics we have discussed today. And the first and foremost question is, the Defense Production and Export Promotion Policy 2020 is to achieve an turnover of dash rupees, including export of dash rupees in aerospace and defense goods and services by the year of 2025. And the correct answer for this is rupees 1,75,000 crore and rupee 35,000 crore. Okay, so the Defense Production and Export Promotion Policy 2020 is to achieve a turnover of around 1,75,000 crore rupees, a full turnover of 1,75,000 crore, including an export of rupees 35,000 crore. Okay, in the aerospace and defense goods and services by the year of 2025. That means by the next 5 years. Okay. The next and final important question is, please see this question in a very detailed way. Whenever I give you which of these statements given above is or are correct, these sort of questions are very important when considering regarding the NDA and CDS examination point of view. So please keep a complete detailed concentration. So, considering the following statements regarding DPEPP 2020, this is aimed to develop a dynamic, robust and competitive defense industry, including aerospace and naval shipbuilding industry, to cater the needs of armed forces with quality products. Okay, so statement 1 is correct. And what does statement 2 says? Statement 2 says that it reduces dependence on imports and takes forward Make in India initiatives through domestic design and development. So both these statements are correct, and the correct answer for this is option C, that is both 1 and 2. So that is it with the most important quick review, going through with the question of the day for today. And the question of the day for today is, what is the re-engined version of the Cheetah helicopter? Okay, I repeat the question, what is the re-engined version of Cheetah helicopter? The answer for this and the explanation for it I will be giving you in the next session. Until then, stay tuned to SSB Crack Exams, subscribe to our channel, download our app from Google Play Store. I hope that you have understood today's defense updates in a very detailed way. So that is it with this particular section. I will meet you in the next session. Until then, Jai Hind.